Imagine this. You're the captain of one of the world's largest container ships. Your vessel is nearly 400 meters long, stacked high with containers carrying everything from electronics to clothing to cars. Your destination? Germany's biggest port. But here's the twist. Instead of docking right on the coast, you have to steer your ship more than 100 kilometers inland up a winding river called the Elbe before you finally reach your terminal. That's the port of Hamburg, Europe's third largest seaport and by far the largest in Germany. At first glance, this seems illogical. Why would such a major global port be located so far away from the open sea? The answer lies in centuries of history, geography and economics, and also in the challenges Hamburg faces today. In this video, we'll explore why Hamburg became Germany's gateway to the world, why it outgrew other German ports, how it competes with Rotterdam and Antwerp, the modern challenges posed by megaships, and whether Hamburg's inland location makes it less future-proof. Hamburg's story begins long before the container era. In the Middle Ages, it was a proud member of the Hanseatic League, a vast network of trading cities that dominated commerce across northern Europe. Hamburg's position on the Elbe was perfect. Far enough upstream to be protected from direct naval attacks, but still close enough to the sea to connect with the rest of the world. By the 19th century, as industrialization spread across Germany, Hamburg transformed into a modern port city. Its docks expanded, railways linked it to the German hinterland, and the trade boomed. One of the most iconic developments came in 1888, the opening of the Speicherstadt, or warehouse city. This district, now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, was the largest warehouse complex in the world at the time. It allowed Hamburg to store and trade goods like coffee, tea and spices on an unprecedented scale, and cemented its reputation as Germany's commercial hub. It's also home to one of the coolest sightseeing spots in Germany nowadays, the Miniatur Wunderland. Germany actually has several other major ports, Bremen and Bremerhaven, Wilhelmshaven and Lübeck to name a few, but none of them reached Hamburg's scale. Why? The answer lies in a unique combination of geography, economics and timing. Bremen was always significant, but the Weser River was shallower and less suited to handle very large ships. Lübeck, while historically important in the Hanseatic League, was oriented more towards the Baltic Sea, not Atlantic trade routes that became dominant after the age of exploration. Wilhelmshaven, meanwhile, was primarily developed as a naval base, rather than a commercial hub. Hamburg, on the other hand, invested heavily in port infrastructure, shipping companies, banks and insurance services. It became not just a port, but an entire ecosystem of trade. Equally important was its access to Germany's huge inland market. From Hamburg, goods could be shipped directly to the Ruhr region, southern Germany, Austria, Poland and even as far as the Czech Republic. This made Hamburg the natural gateway for continental Europe. Of course, Hamburg is not the only heavyweight on the European stage. Rotterdam in the Netherlands and Antwerp in Belgium are Hamburg's biggest competitors, and both enjoy geographical advantages. Rotterdam, with its Europort, is Europe's largest port, and it lies right on the North Sea. Ships can sail straight in without navigating tricky rivers. It is also a deep water port. Antwerp, though slightly inland, has a shorter and more accessible route than Hamburg. Both can handle the world's largest container ships more easily. So why do shipping companies still choose Hamburg? Because its connections into the European interior are world class. Trains, trucks and inland barges radiate out of Hamburg like spokes on a wheel, linking it to Germany's industrial heartlands and beyond. Even if the river journey adds extra costs and time, the efficiency of Hamburg's logistics network often makes up for it. But Hamburg's inland position is also its biggest weakness. The Elbe River is not a natural deep water channel. To allow today's megaships, some nearly 400 meters long and carrying over 20,000 containers, to reach the port, the river has to be dredged and deepened again and again. This is expensive, environmentally controversial and still not a perfect solution. Some of the largest ships can only enter Hamburg at a high tide. Others must reduce their load before making the journey or split their cargo between multiple ports. Environmental groups also argue that repeated dredging damages river ecosystems and increases the risk of flooding in nearby areas. So Hamburg is caught in a delicate balance: stay competitive by accommodating bigger ships or risk losing ground to Rotterdam and Antwerp. So is Hamburg's port future-proof? On one hand, the challenges are real. As ships continue to grow larger, Hamburg's inland location becomes a bigger disadvantage. On the other hand, Hamburg is adapting. The port's terminals, like the highly automated container terminal Altenwerder, are among the most advanced in the world. Beyond the port itself, Hamburg has turned its maritime heritage into urban development. The Hafen City project is Europe's largest inner city redevelopment, transforming former docklands into a vibrant new district of offices, apartments and cultural landmarks like the Elbphilharmonie. It symbolizes how Hamburg is balancing its identity as both a port and a modern city. In terms of logistics, the port is focusing more on efficiency, digitalization and sustainability, with stronger reliance on rail and inland shipping connections, rather than trying to outmatch Rotterdam in its sheer ship size. The port of Hamburg is both a paradox and a success story. It's the biggest port in Germany and still one of the biggest in Europe, despite being located more than 100 kilometers inland. Its rise was shaped by centuries of history, clever investment and a central location in Europe's trade networks. But the same geography that made Hamburg great also creates its biggest challenges today. The Elbe must be dredged, megaships struggle with access, and competition from Rotterdam and Antwerp looms large. Still, Hamburg remains Germany's gateway to the world, whether through its high-tech container terminals, its iconic Speicherstadt warehouses, or its futuristic Hafen City district. The city has always reinvented itself, and while the future of global shipping may test its limits, Hamburg's role as a bridge between the sea and the heart of Europe is unlikely to disappear anytime soon.